Good morning students. Today we are going to discuss the next topic of chapter 10, that is components and structure of the budget. What is the meaning of budget? We had already discussed. It is a statement of estimated expenditure and expected revenue of the government for upcoming year that are known as government budget. There are two components of government budget: budget received and budget expenditure. It's included revenue receipts and capital receipts. And budget expenditure, it's included revenue expenditure and capital expenditure. Now, what is the meaning of budget receipt? Budget receipt means estimated receipt of the government from all the source of the fiscal year. It means of coming year that are known as budget receipt. It means all the receipts, all total received of the government during the upcoming year that are known as budget receipt. In budget receipt, there are two types. I told you right now only: revenue receipts and capital receipt. Now, what is the difference between revenue receipts and capital receipt? Revenue receipts is do not affect on balance sheet. It means revenue receipts do not affect on liabilities and assets. Clear? It means these receipts do not create any liability. It means it does not create or increase any liability. Even it does not reduce any assets. That kind of receipts are known as revenue receipts. It means revenue receipts never affect on balance sheet. All of you know in balance sheet assets and liabilities come. So in that condition, it does not affect on liabilities as well as on assets. Just like that, the best example of that, tax receipts. Tax receipts, all of you know, that are known as revenue receipts. Why? Because it is a compulsory payment made by the public to the government, and it is a unilateral payment. For that, it is a one-sided payment. It means public make a payment to the government, and for that government never pays anything for that. It is a compulsory payment done by the public to the government, so it never create any kind of liability. Even tax receipts never reduce any kind of assets. So because of this reason, revenue receipts, the best example of that, tax receipts. Clear? Now, if I'm going to give you one example. If government is going to share their going to sell their shares in the market, in that condition, what happens? Definitely it reduces the assets of the government, so it will not be treated as a revenue receipts. Clear? Now, the receipts which do not affect on assets and liabilities of the government, that kind of receipts are known as revenue receipts. Revenue receipts are two types: tax receipts and non-tax receipts. Now we are going to discuss tax receipts. Now the next is tax receipts. Tax is a compulsory payment to the government by the firm, institutional or individual. That is a unilateral payment. It means one-sided payment in which never taxpayer accept any services or benefit from the government in return. It means they never expect anything from the government in return, that government is going to pay them any kind of services or benefit. So because of this reason, that kind of receipts are known as one-sided receipt and unilateral receipt. In that, it does not or it do not create any kind of liabilities and do not decrease any kind of assets. Because of this reason, tax receipts are known as revenue receipts. There are few types of taxes. that are progressive tax and regressive tax. Next, we have direct tax and indirect tax, value added tax and specific tax. Now we are going to discuss one by one. Progressive tax are those tax in which rate of tax increases with the increase in income. As the income increases, rate of tax will increase. Clear? It means government is charging higher tax from the richer people and lower tax from the poor people, or not government is not taking any kind of receipt from the poor people. Look at there, I am just giving you the example. Suppose suppose a person who is having income from 0 to 1 lakh, they are not going to pay any kind of taxes. But if they have a income between 1 lakh to 2 lakh, then government is charging 5% tax. Clear? If he is having the income between 2 lakh to 5 lakh, then he has to pay 10% income tax. Clear? That is the tax rate. And if he is having income between 5 lakh to 10 lakh, then he has to pay 15%. And if he is having the income more than 1 lakh, then he has to pay 20% tax. It means this kind of tax are known as progressive tax. Tax rate of tax increases with the increase in the income. You can see very easily, if a person who is having the income, who is earning the income between 1 lakh 0 to 1 lakh, he should have not submitted any kind of tax. If he is range between 1 lakh to 2 lakh, then he has to pay only 5%. But if he is earning more than 10 lakh, then he has to pay 20%. It means the rate of tax increases with the increase in the income. That kind of tax are known as progressive tax. In this tax, greater burden on richer section of the society and lower burden on the poor section of the society. So in India, we have adopted which kind of tax? Progressive tax. Clear? Next tax, that is regressive tax. Regressive tax, in which the rate of the tax is same for poor as well as for the richer section of the society. It means the rate of tax is similar for all section of the society, whether he is poor or whether he is rich. So in that kind of taxes, in regressive tax, there will be the greater burden on poor rather than richer section of the society. For example, suppose if a poor who is earning 5,000 rupees, then also the rate of taxes are 10%. He has to pay 500 rupees. It means the rate of taxes 10%. That will be the similar. A person who is rich and he is earning 1 lakh rupees, then also he has to pay how much tax rate? 10%. How much he has to pay? 10,000. It means the rate of taxes are same, whether that is the people are earning higher income or lower income. That kind of tax are known as regressive tax. In that tax, more burden will be on poor section of the society rather than rich section of the society. But in India, we have adopted which kind of tax? Progressive tax. Now we are going to discuss direct tax and indirect tax. Next, that is direct tax and indirect taxes. What is the meaning of direct tax? Direct tax are those tax which is borne by one person and burden has to be borne by the similar person. It means whom it is imposed. It is a tax by which final burden is borne by the person on whom it is imposed. That kind of tax are known as income tax, known as direct tax. Just like an example of income tax. Income tax, if I have to pay the income tax. So I am the similar person who is going to fill the ITR form, and I have to submit my tax to the income tax department. It means that tax imposed on my income only, and I have to bear that income. I have to pay that tax to the government. So that will be the similar person whom it is imposed and whom it is borne by. That kind of taxes are known as direct taxes. Indirect taxes, in which tax can be shifted. How? By which initial burden on one person, but later on it shift to the another person. It means by in which you can shift the tax to the other person. That kind of tax are known as indirect tax. Let me give you one example. If you are going to the restaurant, definitely you have to pay the tax. Whatever the bill will be there, with bill you have to pay the tax. So that kind of tax which you are paying, that you are going to pay to the government department, ITR department, it means income tax department. But you are not going to pay that tax to the directly to the income tax department. What the product producer is going to do, the restaurant owner, he is going to collect the tax from all the customer, and on behalf of them he is going to pay the tax to the department, income tax department. This kind of tax is known as indirect tax. Clear? But instead of direct tax, if the tax is imposed on my income, so in that condition I have to pay the tax to the income tax department. That kind of tax is known as direct tax, in which there will be the one person only who has to pay the tax to the directly to the income tax department whom it is imposed. He cannot shift his tax to the someone else. Clear? Same here, indirect taxes, what happens, it can be shift to the someone else. It means it shift from one person to other person. Just like GST. All of you know कि GST is an indirect tax. How GST is indirect tax? Although it is collected by the from the customer by the producer, and producer after collecting all the taxes, producer is going to pay this kind of tax. That kind of tax is known as an indirect tax. Clear? Now next, value added tax. When the tax is imposed on the various stages of production, that kind of tax is known as value added taxes. Clear? Now what is the meaning of value added? Value of output, it means value of finished goods or final product minus value of intermediate goods. That is known as the value added. It means the difference between value of output and value of intermediate goods, that are known as value added. The tax which is imposed on this value added, that is known as value added tax. For example, just like that, suppose the value of final goods, that is 15,000. Clear? And the value of output intermediate consumption, that is 10,000. So what is the difference between both of that? That is 5,000. The tax which I have to pay on 5,000 rupees, that is known as a value added tax. Clear? That kind of tax is known as value added tax. And GST is the best example of value added tax. It is also an indirect tax also. Next, specific tax. When the tax is imposed on the commodity, special commodity, brand, units, weight, that kind of tax is known as a specific tax. So these all taxes are the revenue received by the government. Clear? It does not create any liability and it does not reduce any kind of excess of the government. Thank you for today.